Hermine.
We have water over our dock. Our boat's almost on top of the dock.
Have you ever seen it like this before?
Not quite this much, no.
Hermine, now at hurricane strength, steadily churning toward Florida.
The flooding and damage it's already causing across the state and here on the Suncoast. Your Suncoast News starts now.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight.
And I'm Haley Wilkes. Hermine is now a hurricane, and it's gaining strength as it slowly moves closer to the state of Florida.
The storm now packing 75-mile-an-hour winds at last check. It's kicking up surf all along the Suncoast. This is an aerial view of the winds and rain impacting Casey Key. The outer bands already causing flooding and damage in our area. Let's get now to ABC 7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the latest on the storm and its impact here.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Hurricane Hermine now, just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. Hurricane hunters finding winds sustained at 75 miles an hour. And it's looking a little healthier even on the radar presentation. You can see the banding features quite evident, and most of them east of the center. There's some dry air on the western edge, and clearly a defined circulation right here that only looks to get a little stronger right before it makes landfall. Late tonight, more so early morning on Friday into the Big Bend area, with winds possibly as high as 80 miles an hour sustained, gust maybe up to 100. Now you can see what's happening here. We have a line of intense storms, so let's not focus on the center. Let's focus on this band right now. This is going to be moving through our area later on this evening. Already some isolated showers popping up here and there. We have to keep an eye on those for the possibility of isolated tornadoes, but this will bring some locally heavy rainfall, and I don't think it's going to weaken. It's going to stay fairly strong as it approaches the coast, so rainfall rates in that particular band there over 2 inches an hour, and then another one developing behind it. So we're not done yet with this storm system. We're going to continue to see flood problems through the night and tomorrow, eventually subsiding, I think, on Saturday. But no rotation with those cells right now, looking at the vertical velocity and the radial velocity with that. You can see the watches and warning. A tropical storm warning remains in effect now for the coastal locations from I-75 westward through Manatee and Sarasota counties, meaning we could see tropical storm force winds will be on the low side, 40 to 50, but those still can down some trees and also cause some power outages. Aerial flood watch continues for our immediate area, as I mentioned. A tornado watch in effect for basically north of our area, but I would not put your guard down yet on that tornado activity staying to our north. There's still a chance we could see some of that action right here. We'll have much more on our weather coming up, and Hermine and what it means for the weather for Friday as well, coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The drenching outer bands of Hurricane Hermine already flooding parts of the state. Governor Scott once again warning everyone in Florida to brace for severe flooding and dangerous conditions.
We are going to have flooding. We're going to have storm surge, wind, rain. We're going to have flooding. All of this together, and parts of it by itself, are life-threatening.
Thousands of people from the Panhandle to the Suncoast rushing to secure their homes, trying to minimize the damage from the storm. One of the areas on the Suncoast that consistently has problems with flooding, Anna Maria Island.
Streets there are already flooded and the water is dangerously close to homes. ABC 7's Bobeth Yates begins our team coverage of the storm live from Holmes Beach. Bobeth.
Yes, Scott and Haley, I'm on Marine Avenue, right in the center of Holmes Beach, and things are a bit of a mess here. Now, right now, we're getting a bit of a break from the rain, but if you look around me, the damage has already been done. Literally, water coming up to my knee. I decided to stop right here because my boots weren't high enough. But if you continue to go, it literally will come up to your thumb in this area. Because of all of the issues that they're having with flooding and some of the other concerns, local schools decided to shut their doors, with the exception of Sarasota County, of course. But everywhere else on the Suncoast decided to shut their doors. But that didn't stop the kids from coming outside and enjoying themselves in this rain.
I just really like the rain and I like to play with it, play outside with it. I'm kind of nervous that we'll fall off and get in like the really gross water.
We're gonna go on the flooded streets and ride a lobster.
Well, while it may sound fun to be out here on the flooded streets, there are major concerns. It is not safe. In fact, there are some sanitary issues. Officials are saying because of the flooded streets and the pressure that this is causing, manhole covers have come up and sewage and sewer water have flooded into the streets. So if you are out here walking around without shoes or some sort of protection, there could be some concerns.
Don't drive through standing water. If you can't see the road in front of you, don't drive on the road. It's not safe. You don't know if the road's there. You don't know if you're going into a ditch. We had a FedEx truck that drove into a culvert yesterday because he couldn't see the bottom.
All right, so definitely all kinds of concerns out there. You want to make sure you're safe. Again, they're advising people if you do not have to be out here, do not be out here. And if you do come out, wear boots, wear things to protect you because you don't know what is in this water or how deep it can get because it literally can drop off from 2 feet to waist deep in a matter of seconds. Back to you.
All right, Bobette, thank you. The steady rain is flooding an RV resort in Bradenton. The storm drains at Vista del Lago are overwhelmed and the water is spilling into the streets. A retention pond on the property there is also overflowing. Water is now filling yards, coming feet within homes.
We set up a pump to try and proactively pump, but once the storm drains were overwhelmed, there was nowhere else to pump it, so we stopped pumping. And now we're in a reactive mode.
Resort managers are warning residents about the dangers in cutting off power where necessary.
Late this afternoon, Sarasota County declared a local state of emergency. Manatee County has not declared a state of emergency at this time, but as roads flood across the area, emergency management officials are once again urging people to stay indoors and off the roads, as Bobette mentioned. At a briefing today, Manatee County Emergency Management Chief Don Hermy urged people to avoid driving and walking through standing water. Hermy says that if you don't have to be outside today, stay indoors.
Stay indoors. Please don't try going out on the roads. If you do have to go out on the roads, we ask that you please do not enter roadways when you see water, particularly water covering the roadways.
Manatee County offices and libraries were closed today, and MCAT buses are not running.
Hurricane Hermine causing problems on the road. In Suncoast Traffic Watch, we want to tell you the Sunshine Skyway Bridge is closed. It has been through much of the day because of high winds. Other than that, though, no crashes in the area in Manatee and Sarasota counties. Traffic going pretty smoothly at this hour. We hope that's because many people are home tonight. Now, despite the threatening weather, Sarasota County Public Schools will be open again tomorrow. Manatee County School District, which was closed today, will make a decision about classes tomorrow later this evening. Many parents were upset. Sarasota County decided to keep kids in class today, but at Bayhaven Elementary this morning, the majority of the parents we talked to were okay with that decision. Parents told us they did not think the county would take any chances of putting them in harm's way, and it's not a bad place to have the kids tucked away in the event the storm worsens.
We're a consistent, safe, trusted environment for the kids, and if at all possible, we try to stay open to give them kind of that extra day of learning.
I'm a Floridian. I've been here for years. I don't get too worried until it kind of hits.
Again, Sarasota County School District says schools will be in session tomorrow. Manatee County will make a decision later this evening. We'll let you know what they decide.
As a precaution, Sarasota County health officials have issued a no swim advisory for several beaches. The advisory is in place for North Lido, Siesta Beach, and the Venice Fishing Pier. Health officials say the amount of harmful bacteria found during water quality testing at those areas is outside acceptable limits. Those beaches are still open, but wading, swimming, and water recreation not recommended as long as this advisory is in effect.
And roads leading up to Lido Beach underwater today. Cars are having a hard time traveling down John Ringling Boulevard all along St. Armand Circle, heading towards Lido. Benjamin Franklin Drive also flooded. A tree crashed into a home on that stretch of road, and waves are slamming against docks all along the canals, damaging boats there. People who live in that area are bracing for damage.
We have sandbags at the door, and we have water over our dock. Our boat's almost on top of the dock.
Again, people are urged to stay away from the beaches.
This torrential rain is causing a lot more than just flooding problems. Sarasota County officials say their wastewater systems are at full capacity. ABC 7's Rick Adams continues our team coverage tonight of the storm. Rick.
Yeah, Haley, one of the big concerns here with all this is backflow in people's homes and businesses. Officials are urging folks to conserve as much water as possible. Excessive rain and flooding has forced Sarasota County officials to be on high alert, especially when it comes to their 4 wastewater treatment facilities and 680 lift stations. The facilities are at full capacity and normally don't have to handle this huge volume of water.
Our concern is not being able to keep up with the flow and having wastewater spills in the system. That's what we're doing, trying to avoid right now from happening.
Officials want folks to keep a close eye on any backflow that may occur at their home or business. Sarasota resident Jason Fryman says lots of flooding occurred in his South Shore Drive neighborhood because of storm drainage issues. Despite the flooding, he tells us he's not too worried about backflow in the home where he and his family are staying.
I think some of these houses in this neighborhood are older and may have those plumbing problems.
Officials are strongly encouraging folks who live in Sarasota County to cut down on their water use. They say a little conservation can go a long way.
Not do things like wash dishes or clothes if they can avoid doing that for the next day or so.
Jackie Cowles lives right down the road from the Bee Ridge wastewater treatment facility. She has experienced some minor flooding in her yard, but says she will do whatever the county asks, especially when it comes to water conservation.
When storms, that's nature happens. No one can control that. But what we can control, I think everybody should try to do their part.
And if you're having any issues with backflow whatsoever, you can contact Sarasota County at 861-5000. Reporting live from Sarasota County this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
Thank you, Rick. And a reminder, we do have a lot of storm-related information and updated closures on our website to keep a track of all the latest developments on the weather. You can get updates on the tropics and the Suncoast forecast 24 hours a day. Just log on to our website, mysuncoast.com. You can also download our app. Plus, monitor our Facebook and Twitter pages. And a reminder, when Bob is not on air, he's often doing those Facebook Live updates on the Facebook page, so check there.
Absolutely. Great information. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, mosquitoes carrying the Zika virus. 3 mosquito samples from South Florida test positive for the virus. What state health officials have to say about this disturbing development.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the latest on Hermine and the rest of our forecast. Plus, later in Health Smart, grim news for people who have had gallstones, how it could affect their heart health. That's coming up.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, and when you're ready to sell, you'll get more money back. Come fall in love with the longest lasting vehicle in its class, the Subaru Outback. Or lease a new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing right now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ for only $299 per month, or a 2016 Lincoln MKX, Lincoln's premium sports utility vehicle, for $339 per month. We also have a great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Drive with the confidence of a 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty and complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, family owned and operated, and winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to save a life? Find out by donating platelets at Suncoast Blood Bank.
I'm Haley Wilgus, ABC7. Platelets aid in the clotting process and are vital in the treatment of cancer and surgical patients, trauma victims, and critically ill newborns. It's tough to keep enough on the shelves because they only last 5 days. To donate, call this number or visit scbb.org and you can help save a life.
ABC7 congratulates Suncoast Blood Bank on 65 years of serving our community.
A major development with the Zika virus today. Authorities in South Florida have found the virus is in trapped mosquitoes. That's the first time this has happened in the continental United States. Now, health officials say 3 mosquitoes from Miami Beach have tested positive. The number of non-travel related Zika infections has grown now to 47 in Miami-Dade County since the first case was identified a little more than a month ago. But mosquito controllers had not been able to find any bugs with the virus until now. Governor Scott says very aggressive mosquito abatement will happen after the storm.
And ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now. Richard, not much change at the 4 o'clock close, but that wasn't the case intraday.
Haley, you're exactly right. We have not heard that word volatility for quite some time, but we did see it today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down by 105 points late this morning. And as you just said, at 4 o'clock, hardly any change at all. But it was a wild day, one of the first ones we've seen in some time. Part of the reason, of course, is that 8:30 tomorrow morning, we're going to see the unemployment figures for the month of August. That may or may not influence what the Fed does in terms of raising rates at their September meeting. So let's take a look and see the non-event at the close anyway. There you see the Dow is up by 0.1%, just over 18 points, closing at 18,419.30 on volume of 649 million shares. The NASDAQ, the big mover for the day, up 0.25%, up 14 points, closing at 5,227.21, that on volume of 1,707 million shares. And take a look at this number, 2,170.86. It's down 00 because the third decimal point made it down versus up, basically unchanged. Well, if you're waiting for 115 days until Christmas, you've waited long enough, because that's the case. And Walmart today announced it is accelerating its layaway process and will begin layaway tomorrow. 115 days until Christmas. Their layaway program will probably get most of the benefit from toys. Star Wars is expected to be big, and Barbie is expected to be big. And of course, the program is open through the 12th of December. And much to my surprise, I found out that layaway represents 15% of the entire holiday business done at Walmart. I don't know what our viewers would have thought, but 15% on layaway sounds like a very, very big number to me.
I'm sure it is when you're talking about Walmart. Also some news today on Campbell Soup.
Yeah, I'm afraid Bob Harrigan's guilty of giving hot weather everywhere because people aren't eating soup. The servings, the earnings were down, the sales were down, and the stock was down by 6%. Not a good day.
Wow. Well, we need fall in the wintertime to come.
I guess we do. That would be welcome to me.
Yeah,
thank you,
we're
Richard.
a long way from it still,
yes,
because we have a hurricane out there.
And not too long from first landfall since 2005 of a hurricane into Florida, which is pretty incredible. It's been a record, and it's going to happen, looks like late tonight or tomorrow morning, and could have winds up to 80 miles an hour. Gusts could be as high as 90 to 100. There's going to be lots of power outages, and we can't focus just on where it's making landfall. It's to the east of the center is where a lot of the rough weather is going to be, and we're in this also storm surge warning area. So we're going to see a surge. I'm checking tides around town, and near Port Manatee, they're running right now. They're supposed to be at 1.5 feet at Port Manatee. It's at 4 feet. So you do the math. It's up there already. And then high tide comes on after 2 o'clock in the morning, right around 2 o'clock. KC Key webcam. Yeah, a lot of surfers out there. Lots of rip tides and rip currents, too, so be careful. It's tough going, especially as those storms move in, and there's a big line getting set to move right in, and it could produce up to 1 inch, 2 inches of rainfall in a short period of time. Well, get a look at our hurricane. Right now, Hurricane Hermine with the radar presentation over the past several hours showing a well-defined rotation and circulation, a little bit of dry air and training on the backside of it right now, but still a pretty healthy looking one. It's a rather broad area of low pressure, at least the diameter indicating that it's not really strong. However, we could see it intensify up to about 80-mile-an-hour winds before it makes landfall. But look at this big band of storms now setting to move into Pinellas County, where flooding has already occurred there, and now into Anna Maria Island. This is not too far off, and we've had a few showers already push on through there. About an inch of rain today at Anna Maria, not much compared to yesterday's 10 inches of rainfall, but this is containing some pretty heavy rainfall rates. This is 2.74 inches an hour with this one band, so some torrential rains followed by some relatively quiet conditions, and then another band starting to develop behind that. So it's going to be an interesting night and morning, it looks like. Right now, there's no real severe weather around our immediate area. There is a tornado watch just north of our viewing area. However, I would not be surprised to see one or two lone cells possibly spark an isolated tornado in our viewing area. This is going to be one to watch tonight. A lot of rainfall anticipated in the Big Bend area with, as I said, a lot of power outages anticipated there. Right now, Venice, Northport, Englewood, Port Charlotte looking pretty good. Just some clouds around, breezy conditions. Those winds are going to switch around too. Tomorrow morning, they'll be out of the southwest, and that will really pile the water into the area beaches and bays. And you think that your docks are covered by water now. Wait till around high tide in the morning, right around 2 a.m. You can see the rainfall total estimates today, an inch, a little bit more handleable as far as that goes, as far as flooding concerns. 2.1 at Longboat Key, 3.3 though just to the northeast of Lakewood Ranch and near Venice and places to the north. Clark and I-75 over 3.5 inches of rainfall in the past 24 hours. Well, here's the color-enhanced satellite imagery of Hurricane Hermine, and you can see it spinning right there. You can see the big reds blowing up right around the center just in the last few frames. That indicates the storm is intensifying and developing near the center and tightening up. And you talk about wave action, it's coming out of this system pretty quickly, and there's some big waves out there. There's the forecast path and track, taking it in as a Category 1 hurricane with 80-mile-an-hour winds sometime late tonight and tomorrow morning, making landfall just to the east of Tallahassee and then ripping off along the eastern seaboard there and then eventually out into the Atlantic. A tropical storm warning in effect, as I mentioned, coastal locations from I-75 basically westward in Manatee and Sarasota counties. That means the potential for tropical storm force winds on the low side, 40 to maybe 50-mile-an-hour winds. And I felt some of that today driving into work right around 1 o'clock into northwest Bradenton, winds gusting as high as 50 miles an hour with those squalls that moved on through. And here's that radius of the winds, and you can see that's going to be clipping us still at 7 o'clock. Tropical storm force by 1 in the morning. The tropical storm force winds, at least we think, should be out of here. We'll keep an eye on it though for you. Rainfall forecast still calling for an additional 2.5 to 4 inches of rain for us tonight, tomorrow, and it looks like through Saturday morning. Now, as far as the overall wave pattern goes, get a look at this. It's just generating near the center as far as those waves go. You can see that on the scale they're getting up pretty high. We queried some of it, 25-foot wave right there in the center, and that is all kind of working its way in our general direction. So it's going to be tough going for coastal locations. Currently, it's 84 degrees. Showers, 78 in the dew point. The pressure, 2986, fairly falling pretty fast, I should say. As far as the weather goes, the forecast looks like this. Showers and thunderstorms numerous tonight and tomorrow. We'll have an 80% chance for rain. It will be windy and breezy as well. Winds out of the south and southwest at around 25. And then Saturday, it starts to improve. More sunshine and less storms on Sunday. Labor Day, back to basics. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. In health news tonight, people who have had gallstone disease are more likely than others to develop coronary heart disease. Gallstones form in the gallbladder when the bile contains too much cholesterol or other abnormal substances. The cause is not fully understood, but risk factors are obesity, high-calorie diets, and metabolic syndrome. Those same factors increase the risk for coronary heart disease. Tulane University researchers found that people with a history of gallstones had a 23% higher risk of coronary heart disease compared to others. Health officials are warning doctors and patients about the potentially fatal consequences of mixing prescription painkillers and popular sedatives like Valium and Xanax. They can lead to breathing problems, coma, and death. The FDA says it will add a boxed warning, which is the strongest type, to more than 400 medications, including opioid painkillers and certain anxiety medications. FDA officials say the number of opioid patients receiving sedatives increased by more than 40%. And coming up, the latest on Tropical Storm Hermine and how it's affecting the Suncoast, plus storm-related scams you need to be aware of. But first, a massive explosion at Cape Canaveral. A SpaceX rocket explodes, sending this huge ball of smoke into the air. What went wrong? Well, we'll look into it next.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
About an explosion that rocked the SpaceX launch site in Florida today. We're now learning the blast destroyed a rocket and a satellite that Facebook planned to use to provide internet connectivity in Africa. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the details.
Take a look at this new and incredible video where you can first see a SpaceX rocket going up in flames, then just seconds later, you could hear the multiple explosions, the blast so powerful it could even be felt more than a mile away.
We have patio sliding glass doors and it shook them.
I didn't know it was an explosion. You told me. I just thought it had something to do with the tropical storm.
Like a small earthquake. That's a lot of power.
According to SpaceX, an anomaly on the launch pad happened while its Falcon 9 rocket was preparing for a test fire at Kennedy Space Center, destroying that rocket and an Israeli satellite set to launch this weekend. It was a $200 million satellite Facebook intended to use to bring internet to Africa. Mark Zuckerberg released a statement which read in part, "I'm deeply disappointed to hear that SpaceX's launch failure destroyed our satellite that could have provided connectivity to everyone across the continent." Back at Cape Canaveral, we are told hundreds of employees were working at the time of the explosion. But fortunately, no injuries.
It was just last year SpaceX lost another rocket when that fell apart during a launch. As far as this explosion is concerned, the company says the exact cause remains under investigation. Elizabeth Hurd, ABC News, New York.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And still to come on your Suncoast News, the very latest track on Hurricane Hermine and what we can expect overnight.
Plus, massive waves crash on Suncoast beaches, drawing a crowd. An update on the conditions coming up.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Now is your golden opportunity to lease a new 2016 Lexus ES350 for only $329 or enjoy 0.9% APR, just $329, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Music on Main at Lakewood Ranch. If you haven't been, come on out and see what you've been missing. The first Friday of every month, you can enjoy a free concert, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Catch up with friends, enjoy free activities for the kids, or make it date night. Whatever your pleasure, there's something for everyone at Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by these sponsors at ABC7.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Temperatures on the Suncoast are rising and the deals are hotter than ever during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. You'll feel cooler than ever when you drive away in a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999 or take home a stylish new Jeep Renegade for just $17,999. How about a new 2016 Jeep Patriot for just $14,999? Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good.
Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Now is your golden opportunity to lease the bold new 2016 Lexus RX 350 for only $419 or enjoy 1.9% APR, just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Welcome back. Right now, Hurricane Hermine is slowly moving toward Florida, expected to make landfall early tomorrow morning.
ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us now with the latest on the hurricane. Bob?
Well, it's interesting to note Hurricane Hermine now has winds up to 75, could go as high as 80 before making landfall, making it the first hurricane to hit the Sunshine State since 2005 when Wilma moved through near Marco Island and eventually causing all sorts of headaches along the east coast of Florida as it worked its way across the state. But this one, a different story. It's going to be on the western part of the state, and then it's going to hit off toward the eastern part of the state tomorrow. You can see there's a one feeder band right here producing some wicked weather to the north of us. There are tornado warnings now for Pasco and Hernando counties. And as this line is now moving into Anna Maria, I know we have some reporters out there. Well, Beth is there. She said it's calm right now, but things are going to change there pretty rapidly within the next, I would say, half hour to hour as this line kind of works its way in that direction. The rainfall rate within this one line is over 2 inches an hour, and it will set up a little bit of training effect that will go along and could cause some additional flooding problems throughout that region. Now, as far as the overall picture goes, another band is developing, and this is a developing system. So as this gets stronger, I think, through the night, we're going to see these bands get a little bit stronger as well. I mentioned that tornado warning now in effect for Pasco and Hernando counties. This is where the couplet is now located, right there, US 41, and it's moving northward towards Spring Hill. The tornado warning in effect now for that area. That just popped up within the last 5 minutes or so. We are under a tropical storm warning all the way down to Englewood. The inland areas are not, but we could still see tropical storm force winds through this evening, subsiding somewhat after 10. The flood watch remains in effect. As we alluded to, the tornado watch is not for us, but I would suspect that we will see a few isolated tornadoes still possible as these lines move in overnight. And looks like things will slowly improve as we get to the weekend. We'll have much more on that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The city of Venice is dealing with flooding and high waves crashing onto the Venice jetties.
Both the north and south side of the jetties have been closed. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley is joining us now live with the latest on the conditions there. Christopher.
Well, Scott and Haley, good evening from the South Jetty where we are right now. The weather has really calmed down quite a bit over the last couple of hours. We were out here early afternoon and the wind was kicking so hard it was hard to stand at some times, but right now it's really calmed down quite a bit. You can see the waves still crashing over the jetty wall, so they do have these barriers set up right now so that no one will go into what is usually a parking lot. It is now really just a part of the Gulf of Mexico. There's so much standing water over there. I want to move the camera around a little bit here and show you just on the other side from where we are, on the north side of the jetties. You can see dozens of people are out on the beach. Just in front of that pickup truck, which is the Beach Patrol, is the north side of the jetty. It has been closed off. But several people out there on the beach right now. We did talk to several residents who were out here today who said they haven't seen any rain or wind like they have seen over the last several days. For the second day, the south side of the Venice jetties is closed off to the public. Waves crashing higher than David and Kathleen Hollenbeck have ever seen.
This is really severe this morning.
We come down here at least 2 or 3 times a month to have a hot dog at our favorite stand, watch the people, meet people. Never.
The Hollenbecks enjoy watching the waves, but they don't enjoy the wind.
We live in a little mobile home, so we're always very cautious because if a heavy wind came like a hurricane, our mobile home would be in Kansas.
On the north side of the jetty, heavy winds and high waves made for happy surfers, despite the signs saying not to swim. In the early afternoon, as high tide rolled in, the jetty was closed. Have you ever seen it like this before?
Not quite this much, no.
Gup Kramer lives in Nokomis. He was out on the North Jetty Beach today, envious of the surfers.
It's just a really nice view to see all the waves rolling in. The sound of the ocean, nobody grows tired of that, right?
Kramer said he's not growing tired of the bad weather either.
The power of the ocean and the wind and the sky and the beauty and the sound, it's pretty amazing.
And again, both the north and south sides of the jetties are closed at this point. If you go to the north side, the beach is still open, but those red flags are still flying, asking people to stay out of the water, although I can still see several surfers in the water right now on the north side. Both sides, the north and south, are expected to remain closed until officials can deem it safe to be close to the water. Reporting live on the South Jetty in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. A woman is hurt while standing on the North Jetty in Venice. Witnesses say she was watching surfers as lifeguards were telling her to get off the jetty. That's when a giant swell came over the rocks and knocked her down. Dale Wild, who was visiting her mother in Nokomis, captured the entire incident in these photos. The woman was rescued from the water by a nearby surfer who brought her back to the jetty. She was then treated by EMS crews for cuts to her legs.
A few people are out on Siesta Beach this evening watching these giant waves that we don't usually see on the West Coast. The surf is kicked up. A huge stretch of the sand is now covered with water. Most people seem to be staying out of the water, although we don't necessarily recommend you be out on the beach either because there are dangerous conditions. And then check out these pictures of Siesta Beach. One of our viewers, Cindy Desmond, sent us from earlier today. You can see the dark clouds at the beach, the water covering most of the sand well past the lifeguard stands. You can see this weather happen, and if you are safe, please take a picture and send it to us. Just send them to pics, P-I-X, at mysuncoast.com.
In Sarasota County, a stretch of North Casey Key Road is closed. Meantime, other roads are experiencing unexpected flooding now that Philippi Creek is nearing even overflowing its banks in some areas. County staff says areas like the southbound lanes of McIntosh Road near Bay Vista are likely to hold water now that there's nowhere for that water to drain. Flooding caused several near misses for cars earlier today that brought out both Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies and county staff to direct traffic near the blind turn over the bridge that spans Philippi Creek. Those who live in that area say they haven't seen flooding like this since the celery fields were expanded to mitigate flooding more than a decade ago. Deputies are monitoring flooded roadways and are telling drivers to avoid roads where there's no visibility beneath the water.
We have our traffic units that are available as resources to respond. If anybody sees anything that they consider to be a safety concern, they can call the sheriff's office and let us know. We'll come out, we'll evaluate it and determine whether or not we need to do anything about it.
Last night I went through one and my battery light came on because the water was so deep and there was already another car, but I didn't have a choice. You have to get home. So.
Sarasota County stormwater staff continue to monitor the area. They say there's not much they can do once the rain starts back up again. Now, both Sarasota and Manatee counties are handing out sandbags once again today to help people protect their homes from flooding. In Sarasota County, sandbags are available at Newtown Estates Park, Twin Lakes Park, and the South County Fleet Facility in Venice. That's until 6 o'clock tonight, about 20 more minutes. In Manatee County, you can get sandbags at 5 locations, including Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, and in Palmetto. Those sites will be open until 7 o'clock tonight if you need them. Despite the threatening weather, Sarasota County Public Schools will again be open tomorrow. Manatee County School District, which was closed today, will make a decision about classes tomorrow later this evening. We'll let you know when that happens.
Floridians are being warned to be on the lookout for storm-related scams so you don't get ripped off when buying supplies. The Attorney General's office has activated its price gouging hotline for people to call if they feel businesses are illegally raising prices. During a state of emergency, storm-related price increases on essentials like water, lumber, and generators are illegal, as is gas price gouging.
They should call our office immediately, and in the age of smartphones and cell phones, they should snap pictures of the prices. Let us know. The more information we have, the better we're able positioned to serve the public.
If you feel like you are the victim of price gouging, contact the Attorney General's hotline at 1-888-9-NO-SCAM.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, Donald Trump far from softening.
How supporters and opponents are reacting to the presidential nominee's tough immigration plan, which he laid out in a speech last night. That's next.
What does it mean when New South Window says factory direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKZ for only $299 per month, or a 2016 Lincoln MKX, Lincoln's premium sports utility vehicle for $339 per month. We also have a great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. Drive with the confidence of a 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty and complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, family owned and operated, and winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Get ready, college football fans. When you buy a $5 or more Fantasy 5 ticket and enter your team's drawing, you could win great prizes like team merchandise, tickets to your team's games, and other bowl game experiences. You could even win a championship weekend prize pack in Tampa or $10,000 cash. Fantasy 5 from the Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
We've been slow smoking over oak for more than 45 years. And while sticking to tried and true traditions is kind of our thing, it doesn't hurt to throw something new in the smoker every now and then. Come get some slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Order them as an appetizer or as part of a combo with pork, baby back ribs, or both, starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Come uncork your inner artist at Painting with a Twist. Bring your favorite bottle of wine and appetizers and enjoy an evening out with friends to celebrate any special occasion. It's perfect for a girls' night out, birthday parties, or a fun date night. Painting with a Twist offers 2 or 3 hour classes that are instructed by local artists, and there is no experience required. We now have 2 convenient locations in Sarasota and Bradenton. Visit our website to view our calendar and schedule your next party today.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, and when you're ready to sell, you'll get more money back. Come fall in love with the longest-lasting vehicle in its class, the Subaru Outback. Or lease a new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing right now during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
The torrential rain comes and leaves us, but contaminated water left behind may be hazardous to your health. ABC 7's Alex Redmond joins us with how to avoid getting sick. Alex.
That's right, Haley. When you're out there wading through leftover rainwater, consider this. Garbage, sewer runoff, and fish are just a few contaminants you may come in contact with. First, the rain.
At the deepest point, it was a little over 2 feet deep.
Then safety measures.
We are still putting together our cleanup plan because we're going to have quite a mess as soon as the water all recedes.
This community in Bradenton is called Vista del Lago, which means view of the lake. But as you can see, the retention pond has actually overexceeded its borders, and now the waters are dangerously high and people are driving in it, walking their dogs in it, even playing it.
The storm drains, the county storm drains, were overwhelmed. About 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. From that point on, we started backflowing into the park, which overwhelmed our retention pond and then spilled over into the streets.
Maintenance manager Carl Walker says flooding can overwhelm lift stations that transfer mobile home waste into the sewer lines, mixing floodwater with the sewage.
We've had snakes, fish, catfish swimming right here at our feet, recycling materials that have come from people's recycle bins that were left out.
When you're walking in water like this, you need to come prepared with the proper equipment. These boots are about 18 inches high.
Boards with nails, all kinds of dangerous things that you don't want to be in the water with.
What they don't realize is the bacteria, the microbes, the germs that actually is inside this water.
As Dr. Albert Avila of the Center for Urgent Care examines this water sample from Vista del Lago, some contaminants are evident, some are not.
It looks to me like there's full of algae and bacteria, parasites.
All sorts of toxic ingredients, including fertilizers, are probably in this sample, says Dr. Avila.
It could be bacteria like E. coli, which is the runoff of stool.
And Dr. Avila explains contaminated water carries health risks, including conjunctivitis or pink eye and nausea if ingested.
If it ends up on an area of skin that is open, it can definitely get a severe infection that can, in some cases, lead to even an amputation if a patient has diabetes and an underlying medical condition or if they're immune compromised.
Walker of Vista del Lago is urging members of their community to take precautions and stay out of the water. And others may want to follow in his lead because many people may not be aware of the serious health consequences that water contamination presents. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, Alex. Now we'll head over to Bob with the latest on Hermine.
All right, now let's go look at the Anna Maria webcam, show you what's been going on. A lot of rain periodically throughout the day. Not as much as yesterday, but still over an inch added to the 10 inches they saw yesterday in parts of Anna Maria Island. And you can see that sky's starting to darken up there as of late. And as far as storm surge goes, get a look at this. I pulled this graphic up from the Port Manatee buoy and monitoring site there called Ports. And what you're looking at is the blue line is what we're normally expecting as far as high tide and low tide. We reached high tide and it was happening just again right around 1 o'clock this afternoon, 2 o'clock, and you'll notice it was riding much higher and still it's coming down, but get a look at where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be right about, at about 1.5 feet, and it's still at 4 feet. So it's 2.5 feet above what it normally is right now, and that's the reason why we're seeing some of that flooding going on at some of the area docks. So running 2.5 feet above average right now. We've got another high tide at around 2 a.m., which is another 2 feet added to that. And on top of that, our winds will start to be more southwesterly, and that will cause that water to really pile up here along the coast. So the surge could be an issue for us. It's going to be up to 8 feet over parts of the Big Bend area and places to the east. 8-foot storm surge anticipated. That's as much as Hurricane Charlie generated down into the islands there as it made landfall into Lee County. Now, as far as we're concerned into Charlotte County, you can see the rotation here with some deep convection developing even on the back side of the system, indicating that we're probably going to have a 80-mile-an-hour storm with gusts as high as possibly 90 to 100 miles an hour making landfall late tonight or early morning. It looks like it could be early morning, but there's a chance it could be also late tonight. The fact is, though, we're going to continue to see these feeder bands moving on through. And with the ground saturated right now in Anna Maria, more flooding is likely there on some of the roadways to actually increase the flooding there as a result of the rainfall that is heading in there. The rainfall rates up to 1.5 inches to 2 inches right now, starting to move in near Holmes Beach in the northern tip of Anna Maria. And you can see behind it, we'll have some relatively calm, followed by more storms developing after it. So this will happen, I think, through tonight and into the morning, eventually subsiding somewhat by midday tomorrow. But rainfall rates have been impressive in some areas into eastern portions of Manatee County, over 3 inches there over the past 24 hours. While the enhanced satellite and tropical satellite imagery showing the system getting better organized just in the last few frames there, with the darker reds showing up the stronger storms developing, but still a lot of nasty weather to the east. And that's the reason why the National Hurricane Center is now and has kept us in that tropical storm warning for parts of the Suncoast. 75-mile-an-hour winds making landfall into the early morning hours as a Category 1 storm with possibly 80-mile-an-hour winds, and then pushing off along the southeastern portion of Georgia into the Atlantic by, looks like, Saturday, and then kind of meandering around there. I mentioned all the warnings. These are all tropical storm warnings that you see there in the red, and then this magenta covering all the way down to the Big Bend is a hurricane warning, and that means the possibility of hurricane force winds exist in that particular region. For us, we should be out of the woods in terms of tropical storm force winds, at least this model indicating that, by about 1:30. Most of that should be to the north and east of us if the storm keeps its present track and moves along as we expect it to will. Rainfall could see an additional 2 to 4 inches of rain for parts of the Suncoast. That'll only add to the problem. I talked about this earlier. The wave heights are really gaining some strength here in the Gulf of Mexico and moving toward the coast. A 25-foot wave right there in the middle of it, at least estimated by some of the buoys there. Currently, we have mostly cloudy skies, 84 degrees. The dew point is at 79, and south winds sustained now at 23 miles an hour. The extended forecast, breezy conditions on Saturday. Will be windy on Friday. Again, winds out of the southwest at 15 to 25, gusts as high as 30 throughout the day on Friday. And then we subside on Saturday. It's still breezy, and then Sunday looking much better. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. The Sunshine Skyway Bridge is closed due to high winds, but no other accidents right now.
Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail a day after a quick trip to Mexico and a tough speech on immigration. The Republican presidential nominee, speaking before the American Legion in Ohio, promised to rebuild the military and promote patriotism in American schools. Last night in Phoenix, Trump put to rest any notion he was softening on immigration. Trump saying he would build a wall along the southern border and Mexico will pay for it. He also says he had a good visit with Mexico's president.
I want to again thank him for his gracious hospitality and express my belief that we can work together to accomplish great things for both countries. That's Mexico and the United States.
The Trump meeting, however, is turning out to be a public relations disaster for Mexico's president, who is now facing backlash.
Well, we talked about earlier that we were waiting for fall to get here so that we could eat some soup. Well, another sign that fall is on the way. We'll have that next.
Okay.
I'm Alan Cohn. Tropical Storm Hermine felt here on the Suncoast. Roads are flooding, winds are high, and residents are taking precautions. We'll have live coverage.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Temperatures are rising, and the deals are hotter than ever during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Get the all-new Chrysler Pacifica for just $26,999 and get an additional $1,000 off with a trade-in. Hurry! Time is running out to get the new Dodge Journey for just $15,999. And right now, get up to $10,000 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
It's the first day of September, and despite a hurricane, there's a small sign of fall.
You can now get your hands on the popular Starbucks drink, the Pumpkin Spice Latte, but you have to use your PSL Fan Pass to get one early. That is until it officially launches on September 6th. The latte comes topped with a dash of pumpkin pie flavor, seasoned with cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and nutmeg. Sounds like fall.
It does.